Hi, everyone. I just wanted to pop on here because I had a thought that came to my mind and I wanted to talk about it. So, a week or so ago, I was talking to a good friend of mine on a Zoom call, and the subject of self doubt came into our conversation. As you know or may not know, self doubt is a lack of confidence in oneself and one's abilities. I started to think to myself, why do we have self doubt? Why do we have these feelings of not measuring up? I personally struggle with feeling that I'm not good enough and that I don't deserve any praise for the accomplishments that I work really, really hard for. But why do we have these types of feelings and thoughts about ourselves? So, I was reading this article on entrepreneur.com, and it was an article about leaders, entrepreneurs, and celebrities who had struggled with self-doubt. So, some of these successful people today feel like they're frauds in the light of their own achievements. So this article had a name for this phenomenon, and it was called the imposter syndrome. So some of these successful people are the actor Tom Hanks, the activist, author, and poet Maya Angelou, and Supreme Court Judge Sonia Sotomayor. So in this article, they talk about dealing with self-doubt and having feelings like they did not belong or they didn't deserve anything for their accomplishments. So I really wanted to do this live when I was at Six Flags with my family the other day because it would have totally tied into what I'm talking about. But here we are, because too much noise over there at Six Flags. So you know that feeling you get when you're about to go on a roller coaster? You know that feeling in the pit of your stomach when you are standing in line and you watch as the cart goes by and you see all the loops and dives and twists and turns. How does that make you feel? For me, there's mixed feelings. On one side, I'm scared and nervous, but then on the other side, I'm super excited and I get like this adrenaline rush. So sometimes I even have doubt if I'm gonna be okay on the ride or if I'm gonna get sick and puke. So let's go back to the article and I'll tie it all together later. So after reading this article, I thought to myself, how can people who clearly are so successful in their lives have the same exact feelings as I do? So now, why would anyone have these feelings of self-doubt or self-worth? For me, like I stated before, I just don't feel that I'm good enough. Sometimes this feeling that I do not measure up has hindered me from doing a lot of things. I know for some, we may not like to take risks or take the first step or apply to that new job or even volunteer for something because we just feel like our abilities are subpar and they don't measure up. We may be feeling this because we are struggling with things that we can't do that. We just struggle that. We just believe we can't do that. So we all have these feelings of anxiousness. As a result of this, what do you think happens? Well, we just stand still and just don't move and remain idle there because of all these negative thoughts that bounce around in our heads. So even though I may feel anxious about stepping up for doing a task, I'm just going to take that step. If someone asks me to do something, I'm just going to say yes and do it. It is completely valid to have self-doubt and self-worth and all the other thoughts, feelings, and emotions. It's normal to feel these things when you're not confident in your own abilities and strengths. But if I'm going to have these same thoughts, regardless if I do it or don't do it, then I might as well do it. I don't want to waste the abilities that I do have for nothing. I could be missing out on so many opportunities to learn, grow, and have fun. So do you want to continue to stay on the sidelines, or are you going to get in the game? Even if you have these feelings of unworthiness and self-doubt, stop beating yourself up and being a bully, and just take that leap of faith. I would rather be where the action is than waste my time watching from the sidelines. So if you feel all of these things, we can feel all of these things, but remember, we are worthy and we are good enough, and we all have special talents and special abilities that we bring to the table. So we shouldn't waste them just sitting there on the sidelines, and we need to get in the game. Also, when you do get onto that ride or into that game, who knows, you could have an awesome time. So what are you waiting for? Go get in the game.